Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning. Let me know you can hear me. We are just breaking out right now on the NQ. Okay, we're breaking out on the NQ at the moment. So I've been long all morning into this push off the open. I'll go over it very quickly. Loud and clear. Great. Morning, Asa. Morning, Glenn. Morning, Glenn. Morning, Coop. Morning, everyone in the stream. Sure, more of you are going to join. So we were looking at this, weren't we? Quite clearly. Ascending triangle here, very bullish pattern as shorts start to get trapped more and more. So what we're looking for today is very simple. Can we break out of this and hold above and then have a nice trend day higher? Because we've created a huge amount of liquidity in here over a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day period. All right. If we fail to do that, all right, if this is going to be a still of liquidity and trade back inside, it is much more likely to be bearish and come and test the underside of this. What will the confluence be? We are looking for ES to break out of all-time highs and hold all-time highs. As of this moment, it has not done it. It's made a double top at 5,798 and keeps trading from that level back down towards VWAP. So we really want to see the ES get going today. The reason for that is we cannot rely on the Mag 7 to do work. Apple is sluggish, right? It had really bearish news overnight. Many reports coming out saying they're going to be 10% down quarter on quarter on the iPhones because no one is buying them. And also that the technology on the camera is no longer a market leader. So there's some negative reports on there. I must say we get those most quarters on the new releases and they end up doing pretty well. But they did try and price it in this morning. Apple moving down to 224, but has found a bid. So can the Mag 7 get going? Help the NQ get going on the day. So that is what we are looking for. Remember, on the daily, we have room up into this old gap. This is the old QQQ cash gap, and we have this Bollinger Band, all right? So these are potentials. We're looking for a move into 290, 300, possibly all the way up into the 400s and 500, and yeah, 500 flat, let's call it, is the top of that gap on the QQQ. If you want to take a look at the lower time frames, all right, we very clearly did the same pattern we have been doing the whole time, all right? Ascending triangle, and we had a micro inverse head and shoulders, and now we're starting to break out. This is what I drew for my team this morning. This is what we were playing. So I was actually long off the open, off this breakup, looking for a squeeze, sold out here. Then we drew this in, which is why the shoulder is slightly off. And we were getting long into that. You have news dropping in 30 seconds, okay? News dropping in 30 seconds, so you need to be managing your stops, managing your positions. I wish I held through this news event now, because now we are looking very bullish. But I did get my trade for the day. I'm likely done unless I get an A+ setup. Oh, let's not do that. Unless I get an A+ setup, I've made my money on the day. So news dropping in 1 second. Let's see what we get. Nice extension here. I'm looking for confluence from the ES. I need the ES to break out really of 5,800 and sustain bids. If we can do that, we can have more upside. So hopefully everyone is clear on what we're looking for. Ideally, we turn this old supply, this orange or purple or pink box, or however it's showing you on your screen, into blue, okay? Need to see that retest and hold. This is a high time frame daily level up here. Remember, we had this level in yesterday. 20,250 is where the market wants to draw towards. That's a daily level. If it can get through that, the next daily wick is up at 20,339. I'm not in a trade right now, guys. I was long this morning right here for this break off the push, and I added and scalped all the way up. Then I let it come back. I was flat in this move back, expecting potential deeper flushes. Once it didn't, I took the inverse head and shoulders, sold on the pop into high of day, and got flat before the news. So now we're just waiting. All right, same rules apply. We are bullish multiple time frames. We are bullish right now. You cannot be looking to short this market right now. I cannot say it enough. But we will get confluence of a big bullish trend only if ES can break out, which currently it cannot do. All right, so we have, it's a weird one because ES has high time frame relative strength. All right, it's near all-time highs. The NQ is not, but intraday it has relative weakness. Looking at the Mag 7, Tesla green, Nvidia green. Nvidia's doing that breakout we're looking for. Meta green, Google green, Amazon green, Amazon's red, sorry, Microsoft green, and Apple red. All right, so we need that board to get in alignment for a big shove up. Before the open in the room, we talked about Nvidia looked prime for a breakout. You have Micron earnings after the close tonight. So if they're expecting Micron earnings to be good, then maybe Nvidia and AMD will have a good bullish day, which will really help the tech sector, will help NQ have some strength today. So you notice we are in a bull cycle right now. Lower time frame algo is above the higher time frame algo. The deep pullback is above both, and the Momo clouds are above both. This is a good trend up morning so far. You cannot fight it. Very, very simple. Going to catch up with the chat here now. Exister, good morning. Stephen, good morning. Here for a good time, not a long time. You've got too many meetings. Well, let's try and make you some money and you can get off, but don't be forcing anything. Good morning, Mindful Matters. Morning, Michael. Morning, Hector. Morning, everyone in chat. Thank you for joining. As ever, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notifications, all right? I'm here 5 days a week now. Hit the notifications. It means you won't miss anything. It's currently just testing the top of this range, right? This level right here, this white line, is a daily level I am looking at. On the book, we do have some sellers in there. Not a huge amount. They are trying to stack the bid, but they keep trimming, all right? So we got up to about 90 orders up there. They're back down to 63 now, trying to walk it down a little bit. So I'm just going to wait right now. I want to see if we can do a pullback into this kind of area and either a kind of trap or maybe a simple W, some reason for me to get long. If we don't do that, then we can use this liquidity. All right, if ES is going to show weakness all day, we need to be very, very careful about this move back down. If buyers get trapped up here and we don't get that big push, they can get exhausted, and then this becomes a failed breakout on the daily and the hourly, and we can have this move. That's the only time I will get short today, is if it presents me with a very, very clear structure. Until then, the pro trend, the multiple time frame trend, is absolutely to the upside. The only time I'd be thinking short is if there's a very, very clear failed breakout. Is that clear for everyone? Does everyone understand what we're looking at today and why we're looking at that? Because I will only be here with you until lunch, and some of these plays might set up after lunch, so you want to be prepared. Great, Hector, brilliant. But until then, you stay long. You are looking for bullish patterns, all right? Bullish patterns, but like I keep saying, I am looking for ES to break out. Activate, you just lost 2 bands, about to blow your funded. You were in shorts. I just don't understand why, buddy. I don't understand why. It feels like every day you're turning up here, you're sort of fighting against what's in front of you. No, he means bands like 2,000. All right, just follow the system. That's why I made this system. There's nothing here all morning to tell you to go short. We are in trend up. Follow the system. Come and join the team if you're struggling. Let's turn your career around. Let's stop you fighting trends. Look at the VIX, guys. Look at the VIX. It's approaching a new low on the month, on the week. We're about to snap yesterday's low of day. If we do that, the next stop is 1518-ish. That's a line I've had in for months and months and months. So I'm actually going to have to refine this and see where the VIX has the potential to go to. So just bear with me for a second to go 4-hour chart here. Okay. So the VIX has some possible support structure. Its last doji candle was down on the 30th of August. So it can trade from, yes, that 1515 down to 1478. So I'm just marking these in. ES looks like it wants to get going now. It's having a reattempt at that high of day and all-time high. It needs to see it break 5,800. And there is an old gap on the VIX. There's an old gap on the VIX from 1471 to 1485. So it's worth marking that out. There we go. And like we talk about all the time, the VIX wants to trade into low 15s and below. We can have very strong bullish uptrends, right? I talk about it over and over again in the room and on stream. Cannot be shorting the market when the VIX is approaching lows like this. It's an easy indicator to stop you doing it. When the VIX is up at 20 plus, easy shorts are on the table. Dixie trying to find a bounce here. They absolutely ran gold up overnight, still green. Gold now approaching 2,700. So anyone that's been here the last few weeks, I said the hedge in gold will continue and they will sell the dollar. They're continuing to hedge in gold. They expect this market to absolutely puke at some point. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I think the NQ will come and fill. Oh, let's not do that, Alex. All right, I think I drew it in yesterday. Maybe I didn't. I think the NQ wants to come and fill this gap up here that we talked about, this imbalance. Maybe from that point on, the market gives it a correction, but until then, it won't. All right, so there we just stole that liquidity. All right, that white line we just traded up into it and have not closed above. So that 250-ish mark, sellers remained there. That was the daily level we talked about. If you're struggling to see why that was the daily level, let's just show you because it's important you learn at the same time. Right, where is it? This is not adjusted. There we go. Right here. So this wick here, August 22nd. All right, that was its top wick. If we get through that, we're going to fire into 320 and then 400 and into this daily imbalance. All right. So make sure, I know it's a bit tricky with TradingView. You have to have this adjusted, okay? Because otherwise it looked like we were already making higher highs. We weren't. That's just because of the rollover, guys. So make sure you've got adjusted set on the bottom right-hand corner so you're reading price action correctly. So looking very, very bullish here, isn't it? But definitely a key level. Definitely a key level here. ES did the same thing. ES whipped through all-time high by one tick and traded back inside. So I'm going to be patient today, as I am every day. But I've had a very, very nice trade up here. So for those that are joining late, we were long this morning. I was long. I was adding all the way up and sold here. And then I took some longs here and sold into here. And I didn't hold into the stream or the news event because I didn't want to get washed out. So now looking for a reason for me to get long again. Looking for a reason for me to get long again. What did everyone do last night? Did you get away from the screens? Did you manage to relax? Did you get a good night's sleep? Have you eaten this morning? Had your coffee? Had your water? All these things are important so that you can come to the chart fresh. Make sure you're getting everything that your body and mind needs every day. It's just as important as understanding price action. I had a good sleep. I was in bed super early. I just started watching, I think it's called Baby Reindeer. I'm very, very late to the party on that, but I just started watching that. So I watched that with my wife, got a good night's sleep, got my food next to me, my coffee in my hand, ready to go. Watched the Dodgers lose. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the scrap for that 50 ball last week. Looked amazing. Yeah, Baby Reindeer. I'm about 3 episodes in, Coop. Enjoying it so far. Yeah, it's crazy, Candy Cane, crazy. I won't go into detail. Those that know me know I actually experienced something similar to what's happening in Baby Reindeer a couple years ago now, where we had to get the police involved. Absolutely crazy. Some crazy people out there in this world. Lebisque should be adjusted, be white or blue. I think it should be blue to be on. Yes, blue. Blue is when it's on. So that adjusts the chart so that it's showing you the right pivot highs and pivot lows. No problem at all. Okay, so we're still in a very strong trend here, very strong bullish structure. All right, we do have slight divergence. Again, ES is not above that key level. It's the only reason I'm less interested right now in taking a long, but not interested in a short. This is a strong channel up, all right? If it's going to present a short, it will become clear. You do not need to be early on this. All right, if you're early on this, you will get roasted and toasted. The market will make mincemeat out of you. It wants to trend up. Zoom out, zoom out. Activate, really good way for you to stop doing that. Just zoom out, look at the daily, look at the hourlies. All right, this is a very, very strong bullish pattern, isn't it? We are holding all flow zones. We are in an ascending triangle. Hopefully you can see that here. All right, this is a very clear ascending triangle that we've been in, and we've talked about this for the last week. All right, shorts are stuck. This is a bullish pattern. We get above and hold, we will continue upside. You do not want to be short in these moves. Definitely feeling autumn coming on here in Los Angeles. It's much harder to get up super early in the mornings right now. It's pitch black when I'm waking up. Really enjoyed summer, getting up early to trade with everyone. Nice and bright, could get up at 4:30, 5 a.m. But right now it's starting to get a little bit harder to get myself out of bed at 5 a.m. So I'm looking here for a trap, all right? I'm always looking for a reason that shorts are stuck for me to get long. Activate, all right. Let's fix that. Let's fix that, because it sounds like you've got some good screen time there. So maybe it's just that your system isn't working in this market. Maybe you need to learn a new system. Maybe you're forcing your opinion against it. Let's just fix that. Because that's enough time for you to turn it around. You know, it means you've got enough screen time to start to become profitable. Marek, wet in London. Yeah, it's always wet in London, isn't it? Always. You had a good week of sunshine a couple of weeks ago, though, I heard. Okay, ES still weak. All right, I've got one eye on ES. I want to see if ES is going to base out above VWAP, where those buyers have stepped in all morning, around 92 down to 88-ish. All right, our buyer's going to participate there, soak the bid and send it back to all-time highs, because if they're not, then we can use that liquidity to go lower. Same with the VIX. VIX is trading back up and back testing that area we broke down from, 1530s. No rush here for me at all. I would love to join this long, but I do not want to buy up here. If it's going to go, it's probably going to go without me. Unfortunately, this was the buy down here, and I did take it, but I sold on this push. But we're up nicely on the day, so it really doesn't matter. Not going to force myself. Okay, so comfortably above that 250. This seems to be a clear level. So the next level, let's just put the next level in, so that we've got them all in. Adjust this slightly. This is the next level it's searching for, right? All the way up here. All the way up here. And through that, we'll go for a top Bollinger Band push. But this is extended, guys, and we're building a liquidity trend, right? This is a liquidity trend. So buyers are stepping in late here. So it can very easily come and take this to move back up, and it can very easily just slam the door in their faces. So I do not advise buying highs. You do not want to buy breakout highs right now. We want to see a back test. Really, I would love to see this trade back into 220-ish. 190 if it really had to, but I'd rather it didn't go that deep. But I'd love to see some form of back test in here in a bullish pattern. This is where I'd think about getting long. If it can do something like this and trap the shorts in underneath this swing point, then I would consider a long because shorts would be trapped up at the highs. Then I think we have upside momentum. ES did just soak off that level. All right, we talked about it. Can it come down and hold? It did. It just soaked. Shorts yet? No, activate. Definitely not shorts yet. Look at the top right. Lower time frame, bullish. Higher time frame, bullish. This is bullish structure. Is there a reason to short yet? Do you have a lower low and lower high? You do not. Right, you pivot up, breakout. We are doing this. The only short will be if we clearly do something like this. Until then, you cannot short, all right? You cannot short a trend which is moving up. You are asking to lose money if you do that. This is long setups only. We've talked about it all week. You would have noticed the last 5 days plus, even last week, I was long biased in the market. I'm waiting a lot of times to let the short go without me and wait for the long, because the longs are the easier play right now, because this is what the market wanted to do. It wanted to break out. We talked about it yesterday. Coop, guessing tops and bottoms is the fastest way to fail. Yeah, it's a mug's game, and I'm not saying that to upset you, Activate. It is a mug's game. This is how everyone fails, including myself when I started trading. All right, it's exactly why I built this system. It's why it's color coded. All the time it's blue and green, it's screaming at me, longs only. When it goes red, it's screaming at me, shorts only. That's why I did it, because I could often be an idiot and keep trying to short on the way up. That comes from my journey of trading small caps. All right, and taking positions against previous levels and getting squeezed out. It is a mug's game. Just stick with the momentum in front of you. Coop, the same. I used to be that guy. Yeah, exactly. Most of us did at some point, unless we had a good mentor when we started. Most of us, unfortunately, picked up bad habits. ES still not breaking out and basing above yet. All right, ES still not doing that. Keeps retesting, keeps failing. It needs to hold this level. It's at around the 95-ish. All right, 95 down to 90. If it can keep soaking the bid there, then effectively it's going to have a cup and handle on the ES with the handle outside of the range, which would be ideal for it. Okay, so basically what we're looking for on ES, this is NQ, but the same thing. We've done this move. ES might need to do this move. We would love to do this move now. That would be ideal. Very, very simple when you see it like that, isn't it? There's your cup, there's your handle, there's the breakout. You don't short this, right? Bullish pattern. There's the ascending triangle. Loads of patterns here. And here this morning, microstructure, right? Look for the patterns, play with the patterns that you're seeing in front of you. So new highs coming on the NQ. Relative strength on the Qs. Everything now green other than Amazon and Apple, and they are closing in on going green. Should be a really impressive recovery. Yep, good note there from Michael, saying Activate, I think you might have created a habit or a bias with shorting. Journal it and become more flexible in the market. I agree with that. Don't carry your bias into the day. All right, have a thought on what you want to see the market do and only play the market if it does that. All right, so if you had a short bias into today, that's fine, but the market didn't present you a shorting opportunity yet. So you should have just been flat. We talked about it yesterday, didn't we? The market is the God. All right, think of the market as the all-knowing, and you just need to be a disciple. You need to do what it's telling you to do, because if you don't, it will punish you. All right, simple as that. Don't need to be religious. It's just how I like to think of the market. So here's a back test of that key level on the daily, and so far they are holding it. That white line. Yes, but you don't know Activate. Reversal trading, because the buyers will sell once they take profit at the top. Look at NQ, think about a hedge fund buyer, think about how far it can go up. Why do you think the top's now? Top can be another 1,000 points higher. Sounds like you've been rewarded for sometimes when the market does a small pullback and lets you out in profit and you're oversized and you've got into that habit. I would guess that's what's happened to you. It's very, very common. All right, if you were this guy, short add, and this does a small pullback here now and lets you out for profit, you're going to repeat that sequence because you're feeding your brain dopamine, thinking that because you've made money, it's a good trade, but the process of what you've done is incorrect. That's why you've got to trade your process over your profits. So still holding flow zones for now. ES back to VWAP, relative weakness in the ES. We keep talking about it. Yeah, existed, the NQ can go further than you think. All markets, all right, all markets can be very stubborn, very resilient. They are built to go up. The market is built to go up, not to go down. It's structured so it will go up only long term by the rebalancing. So they can always go further than you think. Absolutely. So now we need to see, does it need to do a two-leg and come and test this area? Or has it got enough shorts trapped at the high of day to go again? Or does it roll over? These are the questions. Looks so far like potentially it can come and squeeze them out again, because ES yet again has soaked off that VWAP. So what we're seeing on the ES is that no buyer is willing to take that breakout buy right now or near the breakout buy. They only want the pullbacks, all right? They're only interested in the pullbacks to mitigate risk. So they're soaking the bid around 90 and they're looking to sell pops into 800. So there's a 10-point range there that they're trying to play. Until that breaks through, we won't get really strong continuation. We're pretty much clear now for the rest of the day. I don't think there is any news the rest of the day. Wednesday, maybe some bond auctions. Maybe someone can tell me in chat if there's an auction later. I've got that Lewis Hamilton look, really? I mean, I'll take it. I haven't got his money, that's for sure. Big Lewis Hamilton fan, actually. Met him a couple years ago out here and trying to get hold of tickets to the Austin Grand Prix right now to go and watch him. Thank you. Crude oil today. There you go. Crude oil today. What time's that? At 11 o'clock or noon normally? So we're looking for a bullish pattern here. If you are thinking long, you are looking for a bullish pattern. You must not be early because the back test can happen all the way down here and in this red box. This is where we broke out from on an hourly chart, all right? So if it needs to come deeper, it can come all the way back down to here, right? Old supply, we would hope that this becomes demand and support, right? Because these sellers will want to get out break even. So this is the type of thing we're looking for, or maybe this. All right, same thing every day. You'll see I'm drawing the same thing every day because these are the patterns we're looking for every single day. In 6 minutes, amazing. Thank you very much for letting me know, chat. You're the best. So crude oil auction coming in 5 minutes time now. 5-year note, 1 o'clock. There you go, Hal. I knew there'd be one up there. Yeah, all the bonds, all the treasuries trading up a little bit today. So ES back towards that VWAP, back towards the 10-minute flow zones. For those who are doing the course, it's holding the 10-minute flow zones and VWAP for now. But like I said, this is a pretty big move from this pivot to here, and it might need to pull back to find some buyers. Look at that, 50% pullback would be an exact retracement of where we broke out from and the deep pullback flow zone. There's a reason it's coded like that. It's for that reason. failure of VWAP potentially here on ES, right? You cannot long this yet. You have to wait for the pattern. You cannot just be longing this. If you're just buying this, this is exactly the same as just shorting the move up. Wait for structure to present itself. If it wants to roll over, like we talked about, it's going to present something clear and obvious, right? A quasi or something like this. Ideally, underneath supply. That would mean the demand failed and no bids were there, and then wash it back down lower. Till then, we're thinking about bullish patterns. We're waiting for bullish patterns. Be a sniper in the market. Wait for it to show you something. So an instant reprice there. Next 5 minutes are going to become key. ES again soaking. All right, we're in the same pattern over and over again. If you look at a 10-minute or a 5-minute on the ES, you will see it's soaking off the same levels over and over again. I can flick this over if you want very quickly. Let's move to a 10-minute. All right, these levels here, look at these wicks. We are soaking off the flow zones, off the VWAP. Look at this trend. Soak, 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 trying to drive upside. So I always have one eye on it. I have ES over here on a screen so I can see what it's doing. So what can this set up? This is what we just talked about. It can set this up, can't it? If it's just trapped them all down there, this becomes a possible bullish move. Now, I would much rather take this move knowing ES is breaking out. It's not there yet. Timing is going to be tough today. I promise you, timing is going to be a little tough today. And like Hal pointed out, we have an auction coming in 1 minute. ES in a sell. I don't know, not on anything slightly higher time frame. Let me go down to a lower time frame. Really for now, it's consolidation. It is underneath the flow zones on a 1 minute. But on the higher time frame charts, like a 10-minute, if you have a look, you're just doing a breakout retest. So you'd want to see it give a clear indication that it wants to go lower. It's definitely in a battle zone, I will say that. So you need to be careful here now. If this is the level and they feel like they've trapped enough buyers up here, do they get their break of structure for that deeper move down? Right, we didn't get that pivot up we were looking for. This would be the pivot up. Maybe we go 2 leg down. Maybe we then do it. Maybe we never get to do it. There's your break of structure downside. ES back to VWAP. That's what I mean. I would much rather take this for a breakout if ES is at all-time highs. Yeah, so on a 1 minute you can take it. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, when I flicked to the 1 minute, it was sideways to sell. You're looking for a new low of day here to increase that initial balance on the ES if you're playing that illegal immigrant. Which I think you might have just got. So the red line here is previous day high. So are they going to be able to hold previous day high, or do they need to come further into previous day close? Remember, this box here is supply, and we're looking for this box, this orange box or red box, to become bullish. So we need it to react off here with a pattern, and then we'll know that this level here is now demand. So far, it looks like it, doesn't it? It's a good reaction. Let's just move this to light blue, because we are really hoping and expecting this to hold. If it doesn't hold, we will trade accordingly. If it doesn't hold, it means it's a failed breakout. You now have your initial balances set. We're completely divergent on the initial balances. ES is near its IB low. NQ is near its IB high, or at least positioned closer to its IB high. So a big divergent day right here. Everyone new joining the chat, please hit that like and subscribe button. Just being patient. Again, reminder of why we're watching this higher time frame chart. Can we soak off this level? This is where we broke out from. This is where all the old value area highs are. We need to see something like this for us to get long. But it is coming into good areas now for a potential long, all right? But we need to see it show us a reason to get long. Can't just take it. If it's going to flip, it will fail this level and it will drive violently down. If there's no bids in here, you must be careful. Again, for those joining late, I was already long this morning. I was long in here and adding on the way up and sold, and I was long in this into the 10 a.m. candle. No shorts for me yet today. Dominique just subscribed, thank you very much. Good morning, Scott. Legal immigrant, your scalp technique centers around the structure breaks and entries off the 12 SMA. That's fine, absolutely fine. As long as something is back tested and forward tested and that works for you. Key thing there is you said structure. Structure always comes first over everything else. But if you've got a defined rule using a 12 SMA, that's great. Maybe you're using an SMA cross. I don't know what you're using. But as long as it works for you, there are no rules, whatever works for you. As long as you've tested it and you've got edge. So remember what we're looking for. Something like this, right? Some clear indication that it's going to do this. If we get this, you must respect the initial balance high. You must respect the supply it's created. And then you'd be hoping it does this for you to hold runners up to this point. Until it does this, we cannot long because it can just keep trending down and give a big flush point, especially if ES is going to become heavy. So they are, and if or. I am flat right now. I'm not in a trade. I'm up very nicely on the day. I'm not going to force anything right now. Always picky with the trades, guys. Be picky with your trades. Don't be forcing opinions in. If this starts to pivot up, it will have a chance for more upside. Again, the ES is being very tricky. It's just hanging out at VWAP right now. It's doing a dance between VWAP and the IB low. And we've got no more red news on the day, so there's no real catalyst drivers. So this is all going to be for the rest of the day about positioning and structure. Who is trapped and where are they trapped? Because all the big news comes tomorrow. So if we can base above that key level that we looked at on the daily and the hourly chart, if we can base above that and the news and sentiment is bullish tomorrow, we can have upside. For now, structure, lower time frame structure is downwards. You're not in a true sell yet, but this is higher time frame demand. So do you want to be getting short into here? Probably not. Right, so always remember where you are in higher time frame. It will save you. We talked about this the other day. I can't remember. I think it might have been Monday. We talked about how I wasn't willing to short when it was in a sell because it was coming into higher time frame demand, and I took the reversal pattern and we got that 100, I think it was yesterday, we got that 100-point move up. I took profit 110 points. We called for that 250 mark, 200, 250. Today we hit 250. So if you were swing long off that, you would have sold some into today. Did any of you manage to hold the trade we took yesterday after we closed the stream for the move all the way up into, I think it hit 220s or 214 was the high of day. Did any of you manage to hold all the way into that? Means you would have got a 214 point winner. interested if anyone got that. What was the maximum amount of points you got yesterday? Mine was the one I got on stream, 110 points. All I had to do was hold it for some more profit, but I didn't. So be it. Coop, you wish you held all day. Yeah, me too, buddy. Well, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to hold when you've got 100 plus points on deck, especially when it's in a straight squeeze up and it's not giving much structure. You got a re-entry into the close, Scott. Nice. Very nice. So you got that squeeze up end of day for that clear out, because ES did a clear out. Was it that move? So we are in a little consolidation here. Again, if this can taper and pivot and show strength above here, then it can get going. But you have to respect structure. There's your high, lower high. If we do an equal high or a lower high here, we expect break of structure downside, all right? Until we take pivots out. Structure first, then we deal with the rest. Yeah, lovely, Scott. Great work. I saw that when I looked at the chart into the new session yesterday. I was like, that was a lovely, lovely move, especially on the ES. Looked really good. Okay, so this is potentially going to trap shorts. Again, we are watching the ES. ES now coming into previous day high. You need it to clear previous day high, clear 5,800 for upside. But this feels very much like if it gets into this kind of area, all right, if we can do this kind of move, if it's trapped shorts into the deep pullback zone, into yesterday's high, previous day high, the red line, into higher time frame demand, if it can pivot, we can go. VIX now, new low of day, all right? It's approaching that key level I talked about. It's an old key level into 515. Snap that, we trade back to psychological level 15 and potentially down to 14, let's call it 85 down to 1471. There is an old gap. There's an old gap on the VIX. It might want to get filled. Doesn't have to happen today. If that happened today, we will scream. This market will go absolutely bonkers to the upside if it wanted to do that gap fill today. I'm not calling for it to do that. I'm just saying that it is there. It is hanging there for the remainder of the week if we manage to trade down on the VIX. So you can see how key this daily level is. Right, we've had this in for a number of days. All right, we failed above it so far. We back tested it, failed beneath. We back tested it again. Can we get above? This is clearly a very clear level, not just because it's a daily level of 20,250, but it's a psychological level. One thing I would like to see is some bigger orders above to the upside, right? If I can see bigger sellers to the upside, it would give me confidence that the market's going to drag up. Yes, the volatility index. Thank you, Coop. All right, if you just type in VIX activate, you'll be able to see it. It is a ticker. Futures Frank, price just froze. For me or for you? No, for me, it's everything's moving fine. What do you mean we're just in a sideways pattern? Sideways pattern, yeah, it's because it's a battle zone, right? They know this is a huge battle zone, right? Buyers want to hold price here. They would love to see upside above here and take this out for a move up to here. So this here is a big battle zone. Who gets trapped? All right, who gets trapped? That's what the market is asking. Who can we trap? Can we get the move? Again, I know I keep harping on about it, but a lot of this will be down to the SPX, SPY, ES. Right, the constant failure up there into 5,800 is not a good look. It is not a good look. We talked about it in the room this morning. I did not like that we failed up there. Really, I want to see markets blow through key levels, come back, back test them, and hold. Once you do that, you know you have more upside potential. But if you keep going up and just getting stuffed over and over again, it's weakness in the market. It's not giving bulls confidence. And because of that, no bull right now, a bit like how I'm thinking, no bull's really interested in just buying here and hoping. Right, they'd much rather see ES break out and it show us, okay, I'm going to soak, I'm going to trap shorts, I want to go higher. So you have to sacrifice taking bids down here for structure up here effectively, because you don't know at this point if it's going to come much deeper. Otherwise, if you took this, you have to scalp this because it's counter trend, isn't it? Right, we're in a sell technically, so you have to sell into this because technically it should come back down here until it pivots over. And also look at these candles, right? There's no big candle here. These are small dojis, nothing with size, nothing with volume. Maybe this is the first volume candle we get setting up right now. When you get candles like this is just telling you it's indecision. You want candles which leave imbalances. This tells you momentum is going up, up, up. So if this leaves a big imbalance here and comes up and reprices it, it's going to tell you momentum wants to go down. But so far, we're getting the same thing over and over again. You have to be patient. Have to be patient. I know I do not take a huge amount of trades on stream, right? 1 to 3 trades, but I don't think we've had a losing trade yet since I started doing that. It will happen. We will have losing trades. It's part of the market. But the reason is why I'm so picky is because the market has to show me something that I really want to participate in. But when we get them, like yesterday, we get 100-point bangers. When we get them like we got this morning in the room, all right, I bid up off the open this morning. It's a rare occasion where I bid up, but again, it was a nice clean breakout. We started bidding at 46, selling into 99, so a 50-point move off the open this morning. Again, be careful here. All right, if this wants to sell, it will. Think about the liquidity. If it's trapped too many buyers up here, think about the liquidity. Think about these levels here. This is a big liquidity pool. Is it going to use it as support, or is it going to trade under it, and are we going to roll over? If it does that, you need to look at the Asia and London range. If it cannot hold this blue box here, I would expect this blue box to hold. If that doesn't hold on a higher time frame, it's really not a good look. All right, on a higher time frame, if that doesn't hold, where can I take you to? All right, this is effectively the blue box, the gray box. If that doesn't hold, then you have all this liquidity in here. If they've sold this and they don't hold this, the chances start to increase that we come and look for the lower side of the range. Effectively, it could be like a inverse spring, right? For Wyckoff, building pressure, building pressure, building pressure, fail breakout, then we go downside, search for the other side of the range. Only if it doesn't hold. I would expect this to hold. I want to see that structure hold in here. Really, I would really love a deep move and a fast push back up inside. Be the easiest move. Yeah, that's fine, Frank. Yep. If you feel like there's something coming, there's nothing in here showing me anything right now. This is interesting. If we pivot up, this will be where they failed to get a breakdown. Okay, remember, if you're short in here, your cover point really should be for a break of structure. If it fails to get that, then maybe it trapped more shorts in. This is very similar to what we've looked at the last few days. Always thinking who's trapped and how can they be trapped. Again, there's no long in here yet. There's no reason to long here, but you can think about this kind of move here. and make sure you're zooming out. Where did we break out from? Where might buyers step back in? Where's the higher time frame? It's not along yet. I will happily take the short if it sets up as well. Okay, no problem moving to a short if it sets up. But I'm certainly not going to be shorting at this demand zone. ES again at VWAP. All right, so this is a pretty boring day so far, isn't it? Pretty boring day, building out liquidity for the move. Higher time frame, the market wants to move higher. All right, higher time frame, the market wants to move to upside. What is the thing stopping us right now? It is the SPX SPY ES. That is what's stopping us. It created a new all-time high by one tick and failed back inside. So that's what's causing sluggish movement. Catching up with the chat here, let's have a look. 21 EMA, 50 SMA, and anchored VWAP all converging on NQ at 240.25. What would that be? Right here. Yeah, right by my flow zone momentum cloud. And anchored VWAP, where have you anchored that off? Is that anchored off all-time high? Is that anchored off the current pivot on the day? $50 of you in chat, thank you so much for joining. We're getting bigger and better here every day. I hate to say it all the time, but hit subscribe, hit the notification button here. I'm here 5 days a week. Straight bangers so far. For 2 weeks, we've hit only winners. It's been a fantastic run. ES now, back to the IB low. So much weakness in the ES. It really is not interested in moving higher so far today. You have to respect that when you're looking at it. So this is VWAP on the session right here down here. Maybe it wants to do a deep flush. We will just have to see. If it's got enough bulls trapped here and here, if it's going to keep leveling down, these are intraday levels. Blue is higher time frame level. It is offering a sell, but just remember what you're coming into. So if you're interested in taking these microstructures, you must take profits quickly today. You are counter trend on the higher time frame. And when you're counter trend, you need to partial out very quickly when you hit a target and hold a runner. If this is the top for the week, maybe you get very lucky today on that runner and it really works for you well. Regular trading hours high. Roger that. All right, thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that. So here's flash point. So you've got a new breaker structure here now. Breaker structure here. So continuing sell side until it proves otherwise. VIX bouncing right off that level we talked about, right in front of 15.15, 15.20, bouncing off that level. Cannot be buying this right now. You cannot be buying this right now. Right, in a sell notification. Again, this is a counter trend move when you're looking at higher time frames. So please play your size accordingly. Yeah, it's very true, Frank. That's the way the whole market works. We're either in a pump to dump or we're in a dump to pump on multiple time frames. That's all we're ever in. But again, blue box here, higher time frame. Right, it can trade, where's this level here? Can trade down into 90 if it wants. But look at the higher time frame buyers right now. For now, they're trying to step up. Every time we come into this blue box, look at that. Drive up. This is why when you're counter trend, I just said it. When you're counter trend, right, you're short on the session, we're in a sell here, you have to respect these levels. So you have to be taking a partial and then holding your runner, because maybe it pukes maybe, but the higher time frame is still saying it wants to go higher. Big bounce off ES there as well. 5 points up on ES, now through the VWAP in on ES, approaching that previous day close again at 92. Right, it's a battle, guys. This is, I said it numerous times today, this is going to be a battle. Higher time frame wants to go higher. It's as simple as that. How do we go higher on higher time frame? If no buyers want to step in up here, how do we go higher? We trap shorts. Right, if it traps shorts down here, and they get stopped out here, they cover in the market, they cover again at all-time high or pivot high on the day, we can move higher. If it hasn't trapped enough shorts, it can keep selling down and going lower. It was quite clear no buyers were willing to participate up here. We never got above this white line for that pivot back up. So retesting this bottom now. Do they get the breaker structure down that they want? What's interesting is there's no seller to the upside right now. All right, there's a bid at 200 flat. Stacked bids around 200 is about 120 contracts stacked around it. They're fluttering around it. So previous day high held there, that red line, previous day high. When this is clear and obvious to me, I will join. All right, when it's clear and obvious to me either way, I will join. Until then, I'm not interested. All right, we're building liquidity out here. Maybe they roll it, maybe they trap it. When it's obvious, I'm happy to take a play. But right now you're playing in a fairly tight range, 40-point range on NQ, which is pretty tight for something like NQ. You can just do something like this. That's pretty much your channel that you're building in at the moment. And potential bull flag, I would much rather see it get above 250. Get above 250. This move. Oh. This move. It doesn't want to do it now. Come on. The reason I have more of a bias waiting for that is just because of the higher time frame. That's the only reason. You've got 5 minutes until a new hourly candle. Hopefully we get a trade on stream together again today. Hopefully it's not a no trade day. I've taken 2 trades today. I'm green on my accounts across those 2 trades. Unfortunately, they happened before stream, but I think a lot of guys in the room would have got them with me, which is great. Today was a good day to take the opening range break trade, which is what I took effectively. It was a good day to take it because we had multi-time frame alignment to the upside. No worries, Coop. Have a good meeting. Let's see what we get with this new hourly bar. All right, notice how the old hourly bar has dug in. All right, so we had a huge bar this morning. We extended the range. We've come down to value area high, right? And it's tapping into this old demand box. This gray box here is the same as the blue box on my lower time frame. We want to see if it holds this and drives up. If the hourly wants to reprice this previous hour bar, the 9 o'clock bar, that will be a horrible, dirty move. You cannot just guess that. It can trade all the way down to 150 if it really, really wanted to and test the point of control. Do I want to see that? No, I want to see upside. I want to see it soak and drive upside, but I want ES to do the hard work for us. Yes, Scott, I do, and the Replicanto link that I use is in the room. And then I trade on Top Step X as well, and I just use their native copier in Top Step X. If you get Replicanto, it means if you move to something like Fast Track and stuff like that, then it will work perfectly for you. No problem. So can we pivot up? This is the big question, isn't it? It's the big question. Can we pivot up? Can the VIX break today's low? Can it trade underneath the initial balance? Can we pivot up? Can the ES get above previous day close, previous day high, and trade back up to the initial balance high? We have major divergence in the markets, all right? I'm a little cautious today because of that divergence. It's ugly, ugly, ugly when you're seeing that. All right, the initial balance low for us on NQ is all the way down here. We haven't come anywhere near it. Whereas the last 20, 30 minutes on the ES, it has been hanging around between the VWAP and the initial balance low. All right, so ES is effectively down here right now. Big, big difference. It is possible that we just have an inside day. All right, if it can't get going, it's possible that we have another inside day, which would be a little bit ugly. We're on an outside day at the moment. We're outside the range at the moment. We're outside the previous week range. But if we trade back inside, it might want to chop for the rest of the day, ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow we have a lot of news coming. Tomorrow, I can read you all the news that we have coming. So jobless claims an hour before the open, durable goods before the open, GDP revision before the open. Then we have Fed speakers at 9:10, 9:15, 9:20, including Jerome Powell at 9:20, 9:25, then pending home sales at 10. Then the vice chair, Barr, speaks at 10:30. Then more speakers at 10:30 and another speaker at 1 o'clock. So a packed day full of Fed tomorrow. No doubt they will be contradicting each other, giving very mixed signals on the market, making it really, really tricky, all dependent on where the market is pinned, I would imagine. All right, so maybe today, if we can't get going, ideally we get going for a bullish side, but if we're going to trade just inside of this initial balance, all right, then it's just going to build that liquidity out for tomorrow. I would really love to see us get going here. I'd love, don't want to do that. I would love to see something like this, like this, like this. All right, and then above this, even better. That's what I'd love to see today. That will be multiple time frames in alignment. If we can do that, it means the daily and the weekly want upside. It means the H4 and the hourly want upside. It means that M15, M5, and M1 all want upside. That's when you get the best trades. Right now, you've got the daily wants upside, the weekly wants upside, the hourly still wants upside, but might require a pullback. And then underneath that, you've got mixed signals, right? Because they're not aligning. You're not getting the weekly, daily, hourly, 4 hour, 5 minute, 15 minute aligning. You're getting them trying to do different things. That's when it becomes a little bit harder. Yesterday on that nice move up we got it because we got alignment. This morning on the push off the open, we got it because we had alignment. Right, this is your new hourly bar now, so it's worth paying note to this bar. Watch the previous hour bar. Where was the low on that bar? Right here. Does it take out that low and extend the hourly range, or have we finished trapping? Can we go upside? ES came on this new hourly bar, tagged VWAP, soaked off VWAP again. So same key levels over and over and over again. I'm really sorry this is a slower stream today. I'm sorry we're not in and out of trades. There is nothing here right now that makes me want to trade it. I'm really sorry about that. Every day I've been here, we've had some great trades. I think yesterday we had to wait an hour for it. So we can still get it here. We've got an hour left on stream, maybe a bit longer. If it sets up, we will take it. All right, team, we'll take it if it sets up. Is everyone understanding? There's probably quite a few new people on stream here. Do you understand what you're looking at? In front of you is a 1 minute chart. This is my custom flow zone indicator. All right, so everything you're seeing on stream is part of my flow zone indicator. You get this for free when you join my community and do the course. The course is $399 with the code YouTube. One-time fee. You get the course, you get Discord, and you get this indicator and another indicator. One-time fee, that's it. All right, alternatively, turn up to the stream every day. Check out all my free videos that I do. That's great, Labisk. Well, as long as we're all learning, as long as we're all happy, I'm sure there are other streamers right now putting 50 contracts on long and short on different accounts and then showing you their profits and not their losses. I'm not going to do that, all right? I'm going to try and teach you exactly what I'm seeing. We have the VIX inside of initial balance trying to backtest and hold 1530. I will be very concerned if the VIX starts to trade above 1535 and comes to test 1550. It has a gap fill up to 1560. If it does that, we might see some weakness in the markets. All right, we have gap fills all over the VIX from the last few days, just sitting there as easy targets. How do I measure the initial balance? It is the high, the highest high, and the lowest low that is created within the first hour of trading. All right, so this is the highest high we had. And down here, the low, this is the low that we had. Right at the open, that was the low. We left the initial balance and then we moved away from it. All right, so this is starting to look a little better here. Still watching the ES. Really want to see the ES go. Now, potentially we can get going. Potentially we can get going above these levels. Remember what we talked about, the type of thing we're looking for. Can we taper across? Can we use liquidity? All right. Have to be patient, has to get set up and show us. Did that make sense, persistence on that initial balance? All right, just measure out the from 9:30 to 10:30, what is the high and what is the low, and then mark those in. And that will show you the initial balance. So as a push-up and a fail so far, maybe a sweep on liquidity. All right, you have internal liquidity right here. Short stops are here for now, so maybe it swept them. Is it going to come back down and continue lower, or are we going to pivot above these levels? All right, above these levels. This is a clear liquidity pool that I'm looking at right there. Absolutely where intraday sellers came in. Still no long here yet. There's nothing with big drive. All right, maybe here you have a very slight imbalance, but the fact that we're taking so long to move away from it speaks volumes. No problem. ES back above VWAP, retesting previous day close. Can it get to previous day high? Would be really nice if we actually for once got a bullish day where everything wanted to trade outside of range. Been waiting for this to happen for a long time now, but so far nothing setting up perfectly. Days like today, I'm sure there are a lot of people getting chopped up in this range. This is not big range from here, basically 10 to here, so basically 40 points. All right, if you're selling here and getting trapped and then trying to buy the breakout early and getting trapped, very easy to get chopped up quickly. Practice sitting in your hands, practice waiting for that moment. Set price alerts, right? It's a really good way of doing it. You can set price alerts on TradingView. If you right click, you can even set it to your EMAs or custom indicator, anything you've got. Set price alerts. Have it text you, right? Have it set a notification, a bell sound, whatever you want. And don't trade until it gets there. It's a really good way of trading. If you're one of those people who cannot resist the temptation to click buttons, right? Set price alerts. lower time frame algo indicator. Do you just mean the lower time frame algo line? The lower time frame algo, so I have a lower time frame, this is all part of one indicator. This is just my lower time frame algo where I know price might sometimes want to backtest, and there's also a higher time frame algo, which is down here. Okay, so if we're going to do backtests on higher time frames, we come and tap it in and around it before moving away. That's, for me, is a sign that higher time frame wants to move higher. All right, I have to go back fairly far. Where was it? Yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. We did a sweep. Basically, you're looking for the lower time frame algo to be above the higher time frame algo. So here's a good example. All right, we sold, the flow zones were in a sell. We tapped the lower time frame algo, this blue line. Once we sold that lower time frame algo, we sold down to the orange line. This is the higher time frame algo. Higher time frame traders came in, bid up, reclaimed everything, bid up. Flow zones go back bullish. We trade back above higher time frame algo. With flow zones, we trade up. Then we reverse, same thing, trade from lower time frame algo, flow zones, to higher time frame algo, and then we flushed back down to a previous day low. All right, so it's all about understanding the key levels on higher time frames. I'm not going to give away absolutely everything on stream. There's a lot of back testing that went into making this, but it's basically key principles of where institutions are wanting to participate in the market. When we're in structure like this, where momentum cloud's above deep pullback cloud, which is above lower time frame, which is above the higher time frame, all right, we're in a bullish signal. Overall, we are in bullish momentum overall when you zoom out. Once we get a flip of here, it might want to come and test those lower levels. Yeah, they're just for students in the room, Hal. Okay, so if you join the room and join the community, they come for free. It's not paid or anything like that, but they're just for the guys in the room because it's very specific to how I teach. Frank, higher time frame even looks heavy to me. Not to me, not on an hourly, not on a daily, not on an H4. Doesn't look heavy to me. Might want to pull back, but zoom out on an H1 right now. Okay, we're at point of control. But is this heavy? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. It's not heavy, is it? If we hold this grey area, this is the ascending triangle, we can go upside. And here we go, now it's going. Just as I'm on the other chart. So now we're starting to try and get that move. So ES holding view up. Can we pivot up? Big question here. Can we pivot up? Are we tapering? Definitely looks like we're tapering, right? We've gone from this channel to this channel. We've gone from this head, this shoulder. Can we start to move up? That's the big question we're asking. Can this effectively become a flag on top of a giant cup on an H1? So basically what I'm asking is, if this ascending triangle is effectively a cup, can this become a handle or a flag to go higher, right? Hopefully that all makes sense. VIX is down, yes, VIX is down into that key level, 15, 20, 15, 15. A snap of that, it has room to go down to 15 psych level and 1485. Good spot, Marek. No worries, Hal, no problem at all. So we are at point of control right now on the day. The most volume traded on the day is exactly where we're at now, all right, which is not surprising. This chop range right here, all the volume is trapped in here. So if we can get outside of it, like we talked about, this white line, higher time frame line is key. If we trade downside and we can sustain downside, maybe we can get short. My bias is bullish for upside pressure, but I want to see us very, very clearly start to do this. If I take that, even though it's a pro trend, I will respect the sellers here, which means the range on the day, unless we get above the IB high, is going to be very small and tricky to trade. So downside pressure, right? We didn't take out that pivot, still downside pressure. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze here, it'll be loud. So ES still doing that dance, all right? It's trapped between previous day high, previous day close, VWAP, and the IB low. It is literally trapped there, building liquidity. So VIX traded back under IB, failed auction, traded back inside for now. This is very tricky price action, guys, while it builds out. A lot of traders will not be trading today because there's a lack of news. They probably traded the morning push and they're going to wait for tomorrow unless they get an alert that we break out high of day. That buyer at 20,200 is starting to increase his size. So it might want to drag down there and test him, which would be very interesting if it does that. It would be a snap of the range. Scott, because you're on the old one which had a bug, come into the room and update it with the new one. There's no bug on it. But if you turn labels off, it should just go off. So the link to the new one, Scott, is only in the Discord. So if you use that, it should fix everything. If you go to the last module in the course, email that link, you'll get the Discord link and we can sort it out. But yeah, I know there was a bug on that old version where it says IB, 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 right? In white. Not sure why it did that. On some people's it does it, on some people's it doesn't. And when I checked the coding, didn't make sense. No problem, Scott. Okay, so are they going to bear flag this down? All right, still in chop range. This is still in a 40-point range here, building liquidity. If we're going to hang out here all day, it's going to be very, very boring, isn't it? A 40-point range inside of an initial balance, but it is basing, all right, higher time frame, it is basing above the key level. Remember, this is the key level, this gray box. If I take this indicator off, it might be even clearer. All right, this is where we broke out from. So we're basing above it. So what can that make? This can make an hourly flag, can't it? All the time we are basing up here, it can make an hourly flag. So even if it wants to trade down here and close the day here, then tomorrow potentially it can use the flag for upside. All right, so higher time frame, we are bullish. If it wants to reprice this whole hour, it can come right down here, which would not be nice. I really don't want to see it get below this level here. So still no long setup. When you get signals like this, sell, buy, this is just proof that you are in a choppy range, right? Inside of initial balance with no clear rotation, you are not trading near an edge. This is ugly. Even if you were going to trade initial balance day and you're trading edges, you would need to be trading up here and down here. And we are nowhere near that. Trading rules will keep you safe, all right? It's boring, it's really, really boring. I know it's boring going over the same stuff when it's not doing what we're looking for. But if you start taking random trades and you start journaling it, you will see that's where a lot of your losses probably come from. Can we come and attack the Asia high? That is a question I have right now, if it's going to go deeper, which would effectively be VWAP. So the Asia high range was really 195. I guess we could say a soak down to 77. 195 to 77 would be interesting. It would mean we lose the higher time frame, but it would mean we'd soak off the Asia high. Again, that buyer is sitting at 20,200. He keeps adding size there to try and drag the market down. He's got a partial at 05 if he takes it. He keeps splitting, spoofing, and adding, but there is still 100 contracts, 150 contracts dotted around that 5-point range. So I would expect it to come and take this wick out, right? Expect it to come down here for him to get filled. Very choppy. Remember, the blue box is higher time frame demand. It is your breakout and retest. Eventually it will move. Yes, Merrick, absolutely. Eventually it will. The question is when? When will it do it, and are we here for it? Upside pressure on the Dixie, lining up with this move for downside pressure, potentially on the Qs and ES. ES now outside of its initial balance low. Okay, so ES is so weak, it is effectively right down here. New break of structure there on the NQ, right? So more downside pressure. So for now, this sell keeps playing out. But this is high time frame demand. So again, like I said earlier, if you are taking these shorts, that's fine, counter trend short, make sure you are taking some covers. All right, again, another decent bounce off the demand zone. Have to take partials and respect higher time frame. All the time you've got to respect higher time frame. Very tricky here as it drives back off that higher time frame demand. And ES now reclaimed the IB low, failed to put in a new lower low on the day, which is interesting, and is driving back up to the VWAP, now reclaiming VWAP. That's a big push and reclaim very quickly. No worries, persistence. Have a good rest and enjoy tomorrow. So a retest of the momentum clouds, of the deep pullback clouds, of the range that we just broke down from. If we think about this, there's a bear flag, right? Is it going to retest this? Can it get above it? This is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for something up here, all right, where it takes out all the stops and then proves to us it wants to go higher, or at least that's what I'm waiting for. Very tricky with ES. Like I said, I feel much better about these moves if ES is making new all-time highs. Amazon, Apple failed at 227, now trading 226, down 0.6% on the day. Amazon down 0.5% on the day. Everything else green. This was the channel, then we tapered. This is the key area, all right? If shorts are trapped, we want to see a reaction around these levels here. Starting to feel more like shorts are trapped here, but you have to respect this pivot, all right? This is the high that made this low, so you must respect this. No buys right now. You are in a sell, but you are in a higher time frame key level. Those who have been here for the last few weeks, you will know I like to play pro trend plays as much as possible. All right, so if the whole market, if multiple time frames want to go into a sell, I'm much more likely to take a short. VIXy with a decent recovery here. Failed to break the low and then just pinned back up. I'm getting interested here now. It's early, I'm not looking to take it right now, but I'm getting interested how this is starting to react. That's a decent recovery. If this starts to move upside, all right, and then do this kind of move, I'm more interested, but I do not want to see a new low. If we start to snap this, then we could potentially come down to around here, all right? This is VWAP and it's also the top side of Asia. Again, the ES is weak. I'm not going to take this long until the ES shows me it's ready to cook. Illegal immigrant, can I repeat the VIX, not VIX with an X, dude, correlation you mentioned earlier on the stream? I believe it was VIX over 20 for sales below 15 or something like that. Yeah, well, that's for like, that would be a very, very big move. But really, when the VIX is driving lower, you're expecting the market to move upside. I'm not watching the VIX minute by minute, tick by tick. I'm looking at it on a higher time frame point of view. I'm looking at the key levels on it. When the VIX trades down to and under 15, the market can be pretty bullish, right? Can sustain bull runs. If you look at most of the bull runs that we have, the VIX is trading between 10 and 15 or 11 and 15. When we trade upside, I would say 17, 18, 19, anything over 20, there is sell side pressure on the VIX. Very, very choppy here. Something is likely to give at some point today. The question is, will we be around for it? Can this trade back up upside? That's what we're asking. Does the higher time frame demand take over? Can we get over the point of control? On the hourly chart, we're right at point of control. Can we trade up to the high side, the value area high, the IB high? Can the ES get going for a drive into the IBH and above 5,800? A 5,800 break on the ES is very, very bullish. That's an all-time high, and then we can start really getting going. But we need the market to get going. We need the tech sector to start moving. I'm really not interested in trading anything here. I'm really not interested. Trade as you wish. Okay, if you are interested in this, that's fine. Just remember, this is higher time frame demand. This is midpoint of this move. So if you're going to get this, you have to respect these levels. There's not much profit on the table here until it proves it can really go much higher or much, much lower. No problem, illegal immigrant. You are welcome. I'm just watching price here. Very boring day. I'm very glad that I got those 2 bullish trades this morning and made my money. Very glad I got that already. Helps to avoid the temptation to do anything right now. This is the kind of channel that we're looking at. Right, can it trade up here is the question I'm posing. If it wants to get very weak, that's absolutely fine. Can always consider using this liquidity to go lower. If it doesn't want to hold where bids came in, I will consider a failed breakout rotation. Right, if it really doesn't want to hold this, then I'll consider this move, because it'd be underneath higher time frame demand at that point. So it means I know higher time frame buyers didn't step up. Right, to make that clear, if we're going to fail, remember this grey box used to be red basically, this was supply. If we're going to fail underneath it and rotate down, it means this is a failed breakout. It means there's no buyers in here, and it means we have the chance to rotate down. That is the only time I'm going to get short. I'm not interested in shorting in higher time frame demand levels until I know that there's no buyers participating. because it's counter trend. It's really, really boring for me to try and explain this and teach it, and I'm sure it's very boring on the other end. Wisdom saying there's nothing boring. I'm sure it's boring. I'm sure there's lots of people hammering in 15 contracts on NQ long right now, either blowing up or making tons of money and having a good laugh about it, but it's not teaching you anything that you need. That's great, Candy Cane. It's great. Yeah, there's a video on it for free on the channel, and you've probably watched it if that's what you were searching. It is so key. Yeah, it's so key to understand all these things. Being patient. All right, there are some days where you will not get a trade. All right, if I didn't get those opening 2 trades this morning, I wouldn't have had a trade today. You have to just accept that. You've got a whole career ahead of you. The market is open 5 days a week, 6 days a week if you include Sundays. If you miss a day, if there's no trade setting up, who cares? All right, who cares? It's going to provide more opportunities the next day. Thank you, Candy Cane. Appreciate it. Any questions in chat while we're just waiting for this chop to play out? Any questions? Anything you want to go over? Any questions about the course or the indicator or anything at all? So we're trading into the mid of the session right now. So if you do a fib from the very high of day to the low of day, we are trading right into the mid of it. Which means if you were going to risk high of day and low of day, you would have a 1R each side. There is no edge right now in this market. Absolutely no edge. Honestly, it will become clear and obvious. I cannot say it enough. There will be a move which is clear and obvious, right? There will be a big bullish push, pullback, hold, and it will be very, very clear. Or there'll be a big slam and a continuation, or a big slam and a real whip back and pull. You're looking for engulfing candles to start painting potential direction in the market, not this walk up, walk down, walk up, walk down trap stuff. All right, no edge in that. Yes, Labisk, unfortunately, but are you doing the course right now? If you're doing the course right now and you need help and you need to get into the room, just go to the last module on the course. But it just means some of the information in the room you might not understand until you finish the course. It's just to make sure everyone understands everything that's being said in the room. That's the main reason, so that everyone's on the same page. It's the main reason I do the Discord access in the last module. Because otherwise, if you come in the room and you haven't actually completed the course or done any of it, it can be a little bit tough to follow. Minx, it's totally up to you. It's up to you. Ideally, yes, it just means it's easier to follow, but if you need help with stuff, go to the last module in the course, send the email across, we'll get you signed up. Marek, you're going to wait? Yeah, no problem. It definitely means that when you come into the room, if you've completed the course, things make more sense. So here's a dive down, so we're getting more break of structure. So far we have lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Every back test is failing for a trend down day. We're coming down to the edge of that high time frame demand and the VWAP and the Asia high. All right, the Asia high right here. We're trading back down to this breakout point on Asia and VWAP and where we soaked from. And this level here, the grey box, the blue edge of the blue is what the edge of the demand on the high time frame. Yeah, very true, Scott. Very true. You're looking at that 9 a.m. bar, right? For a potential 50% rebalance. I totally agree. I totally agree. I would really like to see it hold into 90. Really want to see it hold into 90, because if it fails there, it does have the potential to do a full fill on that H1 and test previous point of control and current value area low, so down into 50. And I really don't want to see that, because I think if we see that, bulls are going to have a really hard time, not just today, but like follow on days, unless news prints really bullish. So as I said, I'm not in these shorts, not in these counter trend shorts. It's fine for you to take these as long as you respect each break of structure. Each break of structure, you must take partials. You are counter trend. You're counter trend. Look at the dailies, look at the hourlies. You are counter trend. If this H1 does a pullback and finishes its pullback leg at some point into 90 and then goes back to pro trend, then you have the base of the flag. All right, so if this, always put that cup in the way and I can't see. If this comes into here and this is the flag and it bases, it has upside potential. If it fails that and it wants to reprice this point of control and value area low, it will reprice the whole 9 AM candle. Dirty move. I don't want to see that, because I think it makes it very hard for higher time frame bulls to have continued upside for the remainder of the week. Really, I want to see the low of week still be in place if I'm thinking about upside. Yes, Frank, exactly. Currently, we're in a failure to continue higher, because ES took out the high, the all-time high, by 1 tick, I think, or 2 ticks, and we've driven back down to the underside. Same with the NQ. So none of these bulls managed to step up and play, and there's definitely not enough shorts trapped. But this, look at the difference when we get nice moves, deep pullback, right, big extension. Look at this. It's not pretty action, is it? That's not really pretty action. Definitely in a downside channel, and definitely making lower highs, lower lows on a 1 minute. But it's not fun action to get yourself involved in. For me, anyway, all right? I'm always talking about how I trade. Everyone should trade exactly what they like. That's very kind of you, Wisdom Lover. Thank you. Frank, order block around 182. Off what time frame are you looking at? Oh, you're looking at like a, is this 5 minute, 15 minute? Yeah, I see that with the big wick on the bottom. I know what you're looking at. That's basically the Asia range. East stains massive. Quoting Ali G there, Wisdom Lover. Slower day today, guys. Slower day in the market. Consolidation in the market before the big news comes tomorrow. Still not giving up on that pivot push up higher, all right? I'm not completely disregarding that, but look at the ES. It's currently underneath the initial balance low. We have to respect that. If the ES wants to do a trend day down underneath the initial balance low and trend back to, let's say, a mean reversion to the 5-day, back to 780s, then we have to respect that. All right, we cannot force our opinion on the market. We have big divergence in the market. Look, we are not even at VWAP, and ES is equivalent to underneath the initial balance low. Here's a question for chat. Would it be better if I had music in the background moving forward? So when we have slow days like this, it's not complete silence, or would that frustrate you and annoy you? Let me know. How can we make this stream better moving forward? So I'm still asking the same thing, all right? I'm still asking the same thing. Are we going to use any liquidity here? All right, can we start to do this? Are bears exhausted into higher time frame? Did bulls just step up here into higher time frame levels? These are the questions. No music, no music, no music. Okay, that's cool. That's fine with me. Absolutely fine with me. Cap 786. Can I say what the origin and time frame of that high time frame demand box is? Yeah, it's on an hourly chart. Go to the hourly chart and look at the levels right here. So what day is this? 24th, Tuesday the 24th, and right here the 19th is where we created supply. Supply up here, we retested it on the 24th, failed away from it, got through it today. Now we're expecting that supply to become demand. All right, it's a flip block effectively. Right, everyone's saying no music, so no music it is, we know that. All right, this is a decent push away here. Potentially now, shorts have got trapped. We want to see it really pivot through this. This really effectively is, I would argue, the high that made this low. So the current trading zone of this pivot, lower time frame M1 pivot, is kind of this. All right, so if we get above here, more than a sweep, then we can go. This is where sellers step back in on a very, very low time frame. But look at these candles. These are bigger engulfing moved candles, all right? Still relatively small compared to what we've had the last few weeks, but there is a bit more volume in these moves. Looks like buyers are stepping in now. ES reapproaching VWAP. Can ES get back through VWAP? This is starting to look potentially good here, guys. We are respecting the higher time frame demand box, which is why I didn't really want to get short in and around here. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. Look at the VIX. VIX through the IB low now, just smashed through the IB low. Absolutely dumped on that last move. Can it get through a new low on day? Can we break 15.15? Can the ES get back above VWAP and start pushing higher day? This is everything we've been talking about. Look how much you have to be patient. You have to be so patient in these markets. Been talking about this move pretty much the whole time on stream, waiting to see if it will set up. So this is counter trend so far. We want soaks. We want to see higher highs and higher lows and a nice channel up where we go and take all these guys out and we use their liquidity. Here we go. Starting to really drive now. Ideally we get a pullback, not a straight squeeze out, but if it's gonna break, it's gonna break. Sometimes it's very tricky. If too many shorts got stuck in the higher time frame demand box, then they are going to get max pained out. But ideally a pullback and a hold and something like this will be ideal. Remember, we are respecting this pivot up here. All right, this is, oh no, we're not, we're respecting this one, sorry. This right here. So we want this to hold, or a 50% pullback, something like this, bullish pattern will be very nice. Do not just want a sweep and dump. Want ES to get above VWAP and prove itself. Want ES to get above VWAP and prove itself. David, new subscriber here. Thank you very much. Don't become like the other traders, please. What do the other traders do? Do you mean with music and stuff? I won't be doing that. It was just a question to chat to ask. I don't like anything on, really. I like quiet when I'm trading. Ideally, yes, a pullback at some we're looking for a bullish pattern, a flag, a W. We're looking for a bullish pattern right now for a way of getting long for the extension up into high of day. And we're looking for ES to base above the VWAP, which it currently is. It's currently basing above its VWAP. Right, if we start to take out these levels, 42, remember 50 is absolutely key. 50 is a higher time frame daily level where we failed above it. We get through this, we can move through IB high. We get through IB high, we can have a potential trend day up. We need the ES to get going. This is looking very good now, isn't it? Look at this, micro flag, can we break out? It's a big question. These are questions, can we break out? Can we get going? Want to see this move higher. I'm a simple man. I see a future streamer and I subscribe. Thank you very much. Appreciate the subscription. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the team. All right, we do not just want a sweep and a big dive down, but let's think about this. Let's think about this. If we can hold into these red zones and the momentum, that would be great, because that would be a flag setup. Ideally, don't want it to dive back down into the golden pocket on this move, just because it will let all the shorts out. And the best move up will happen if we don't let the shorts out, okay? Because it means they get stuck down here and they can't cover down here. They're going to be forced to cover up here, or worse, be stupid and go add, and then blow up here. That would be ideal. It's just psychology. But it really needs to pivot above that 250. That's when we can really get going. ES back under VWAP. Look, this is very, very tricky here. If ES can't get going, it's going to be very tough for the NQ to do anything. Everything green other than Amazon and Apple. If those go green on the day, that would mean Apple has fought off all the reports that came out overnight about the iPhone 16. Again, everyone very concerned about that. They're now estimating 10% down quarter on quarter on the iPhone 16 sales. That's a big chunk of their earnings on a new product. VIX approaching low of day again. It's battlegrounds here, guys. This is battlegrounds. Can we do something really, really nice here? Can we give us a reason to then get in? It's what we're asking. If it cannot hold, you cannot be trading. If this is just a sweep, you have to be careful, all right? Don't just add. Wait for a clean setup. ES again rejecting previous day close, rejecting VWAP, coming back into initial balance low. Very, very cautious here. Want to see this get going. I want to see it break out of this range that we talked about. This is really the range here. All right, I want to see it up here. This will be my potential trigger point for the move up and extension, because this is where their pain point is. This is where their stops are. So this was a relief. We need to see it do this. If it doesn't do that, if it comes and retests there, there's no way it's coming up here anytime soon. That's what I'm talking about. Didn't want to see the 60% pullback on this move, because it's going to let shorts out and then they're comfortable. Again, flow zones flat again. Look at everything, flat. Not ideal, right? This was the moment I wanted to see them really take control. Wanted to see bulls take control here for this. ES is so weak, guys. Back towards low of day. Range is tight on ES. 85 to 91. It's just in that range for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, a good part of 80 minutes inside that range. Back into the higher time frame demand. New hourly candle coming in 15 minutes. We're back at previous day high here as well. Cannot get going today. Cannot get going today yet. They're going to have to come in soon, the buyers, if we're going to get that move, right? They're going to have to come in soon. If I was a short now, even if I got trapped, I wouldn't be feeling too stressed out. That's how I'm thinking about this. If I was a short who got trapped here and I didn't take the trade off in this squeeze and it's coming back down, I'm not too worried right now. It's hanging around my average. The best trade here would have been if they just cooked them. They needed to cook them straight away in here. But again, ES just so weak, it can't get going. So we're just holding inside of range. Still haven't had a trade on this, which is a shame. I had an order that I put in here for a push up above 250 and we just didn't get there. I felt like if we got above that 250, we had a 20-point run straight away and then extension. Bull's definitely not in control right now. This is too deep for me, I think. Well, it's right in the pocket. Still don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not streaming in the Discord, Cap. I'm in there all the time, basically, saying what I'm looking at. So like 5:30 in so my time, so 8:30 market time, normally start posting what I'm looking at for the day, right up to midnight the night before when I'm watching the market. So this is what I mean. Bulls didn't step in when they needed to step in. This is still in a horrible range here. I'm liking this less and less as the day goes on. Less and less probability of coming up here now as the day goes on. More likely we just trade inside days. Okay, more likely we're going to trade an inside day on the daily bar right now. Close inside the range and then see what we get tomorrow. Unfortunate, we don't always get what we want. We do not always get what we want. Someone spoke about it earlier, and they were exactly right. We had the chance to break out today. Here was the move. They had to do this. They didn't do that. They had a chance of going again here. They didn't do that. They just had the chance here of doing it, and buyers still didn't step in. All right, so buyers are not in control intraday right now. And at ES, SPX, SPY, it's just proving that because it's not basing up and above the all-time high. It needs to be up at 5,800, right? 5,800 and stay over that. Where am I based? You're based in Australia, so you're messed up with times. I am based in Los Angeles, but when I'm giving you the times, I'm giving you New York time, always, Eastern time. So still holding that higher time frame demand box, but there's no bullish setup. We waited for it, it didn't come. Thought we were going to get it. I was really hoping we'd get it on that move right here. All right, I really wanted to see something here and here. Here was my big trigger for a squeeze up. Didn't come. Can tell I'm going to finish this stream with nothing. I'm really sorry, team. Michael, on a 15-minute, could this still be a bigger build-up of a bull flag? Definitely could. On the hourly, remember, we were talking about it, which means on a 15-minute, it definitely could. So this right here, keep doing that, don't I? This right here could just be a flag. All right, it's a 5-minute. That's the hourly. This is the point you want it to hold. That leaves room for tomorrow. If we start failing though back into this range down here, I would have big concerns, because it means we've come to the top of the range here, right? Created supply, didn't even make it there. Well, we did on the, if you do an order block, right, but didn't even quite make it there, failed back down, but created a higher low. Had another attempt here, failed. Well, we wicked it, failed, came back down, a new higher low, this time got through it. It needs to base above here for me to have conviction that this market wants to go higher in a higher time frame move over the next few weeks. If we start trading back downside, if we think about this, if we start trading back downside, we're going to break outside of this upward cycle trend, and that means this can be your spring, and we might use all of this liquidity to move back down here. Very, very easily done on failed breakouts. Remember, the best moves happen on sustained breakout, retest, and go again, or a failed breakout and then a trade back down inside, because either of those are forcing one side out the market. If you get a breakout, a retest, and a hold, then you force the shorts out the market, right? If you get a failed breakout and no retest holds, then anyone who's a breakout buyer up there is going to get slammed. So here we go. Looks like we are getting slammed now, doesn't it? So it's through the higher time frame level right now, right at a key point on the hourly into 85 that we talked about. If we flush that, we can come much, much deeper, and that's what worries me. It can come down into 50s. Look at the ES breaking out of its initial balance low, so it might have a trend day and come and test the 5-day and that lower wick, so it can trade all the way down to 80 comfortably. If it fails 80, it's going to trade down to 73. Frank, expecting the market to close below 20,168. Yes, it could easily do that. It would still just be inside the initial balance down here around the anchored VWAP and previous day open. Can quite easily do that. Previous day close, sorry. You have a new hourly candle coming in 6 minutes or so. I'll probably leave after that. Unfortunately, no trade on stream today. Sorry, guys. Really sorry about that. Would have loved to have got you a nice long up here, but it hasn't come. Yeah, on the 5 minute, it's trading into the VWAP. We have imbalances underneath it. Remember, this is the Asia high. This is your Asia range. So the question now you need to be asking is it going to hold this? If not, does it want to be really nasty and come and take out this trendline liquidity that London built? Does it really want to come all the way down there? Let's have a look at a fib from the low of London. So we're trading into and around, let's call it 170-ish, is a 50% pullback of the whole overnight range to today's high. If this is going to be a dump and pump scenario, sorry, a pump and dump scenario, if we've just pumped up, trap liquidity at the top and we're going to roll, it can come and hunt this London low all the way down to 20,062 if it really wants to. I want to see higher time frame buyers hold it up here, even if it's just so that we can get that play tomorrow. That's what I would like to see, but the market will do whatever it wants. $45. So I'm just checking out where some big liquidity pools probably are. So NQ trading into VWAP, noticed it traded below VWAP into this lower time frame algorithm. All right, so it's back testing the lower time frame algorithm. If it fails that back test, you have an anchored VWAP, IB low, 5-day moving average right next to the higher time frame algorithm. So this would be a mean reversion back to here. This move has almost happened on the ES already. That's how weak the ES is currently. You now have tech starting to go red. All right, so Google now red on the day with Amazon and Apple. Yeah, I would agree, Frank. I would agree. Lack of confidence in the Qs today. And overall, I know on the day ES is weaker, but overall, if you zoom out, the Qs are much, much weaker than the ES. ES is at all-time highs, Qs are nowhere near. A long way to go. Do not just be trying to buy dips here, guys, all right? Momentum is downside. The lower time frame momentum is downside. All right, you've been in a sell ever since here. Moving downside. All right, you can see it on this chart. If I zoom in. Lower high, lower low, equal high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Downside pressure. Will buyers come in? Here or here? That's the question. This is the QQQ, right? This is the ETF. So far in a strong sell. Now we've started breaking out of that range. Here we are in a sell and we're starting to get underneath that higher time frame demand box. So higher time frame traders who are trying to soak this, if we can't trade upside, they might be forced to take their positions off. That lower time frame algorithm they are covering into so far. It's where we based. This level is where ES based coming into 6 a.m. this morning Eastern time. All right, that inverted head and shoulders, this is where it found buyers for that move upside. You have 1 minute or 90 seconds until a new hourly candle. Right, so think about that 9 a.m. candle. Scott mentioned it, the repricing of that candle. Is it going to hold 50%? Is it going to retrace the whole thing? Can this hourly candle close back inside this range, or are we going to close outside of these key levels? For me, if it closes back inside, it still has a chance to pivot. It doesn't need to do it today, but it still gives itself the chance to do it. If it keeps closing downside, it's going to be an issue. There's the push into the last minute of the hour. Yeah, it was a strong doji on the hourly, you're right. I don't really look at those too much because I think it was more indecision. It gave wicks both sides, but watch where this closes. Is it going to close underneath the previous hour low, or are we going to trade back up inside into the new hour? Might give you some clues here. Because we wicked previous day close, so we took the liquidity from previous day close here and the Asia high that we kept talking about. Remember the Asia high. Is it going to hold Asia high at the top of this orange box right here? If we extend that along where we had this order block effectively, we are currently still holding it. Now you're into lunchtime, so volume is going to considerably drop off here. ES is still rejecting its initial balance low, right? You have massive divergence. Look at the VIX. VIX suddenly making a new lower low after rejecting. This is very tricky conditions here, guys, right? You have a real lack of alignment. ES trying to make low on day, VIX trying to make low on day, and NQ trying to trade back inside its demand box. Still respecting 5-minute trend line. Yes, from the London low, you mean. It is respecting that trend line so far, yes. Have a good day, Stephen. No worries. Tricky conditions. Tricky conditions today, as expected. We are inside initial balance. It is building liquidity inside initial balance. We failed to base above, truly above the breakout. So it might need to build more liquidity to give it a chance to go higher. ES is trading underneath the IB low. NQ is trading above VWAP in the mid-range. VIX is trading at its day's lows. Dixie is trading at the day high, right? Massive divergence across the markets right now. This is screaming indecision right now. They do not know what to do with this market. They are building liquidity out. Big news events happen tomorrow and Friday, okay? The big news events are happening tomorrow and Friday. Going to stay with you just a few more minutes, 5 minutes or so. I just want to see what this hourly candle does in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Notice how we're holding the lower time frame algo. All right, so we sold from IB, from the flow zone momentum down to VWAP and higher and lower time frame algo. So far, they have soaked off this and traded back into demand. There was no close on a 1 minute, even on a 1 minute, there was no close underneath this demand box. So if they were just soaking orders here and they can close it inside, high time frame traders who are buyers can still take control. If we start closing outside of this, that's a whole different ball game. This here was actually quite a nice trap looking at this now. Right, swept the liquidity and then failed. That was actually a really good trap. Maybe should have joined that there, but I don't like joining trends. Downside in demand. Demand wasn't so close, would have set up something very nice. When did I begin my trading journey? Truly about 20 years ago. It's the first time I started studying, when I was potentially going to take a job out in Dubai. And then my life went on a different direction. And I ended up being a music artist and traveling the world for 10, 15 years. While investing and watching the markets and following. And then the last 6 years been full-time just doing this. Still momentum clouds holding it down. Look at the flow zones, they're still holding it down. If I go to a 2 minutes, probably a little bit cleaner. Yeah, they're still holding it down. All right, well, if you're getting chopped up today on a 1 minute, just move to a slightly bigger time frame. Okay, 2 minute, 3 minute. Easier to see the down move, right? So if you're struggling, very easy to do that. Frank, you're getting ready for a hurricane. Are you on the East Coast? I guess it's hurricane season coming. I hadn't even thought of that. Where are you based? Like Florida? Yeah. Is there one due? Like, is there a specific one due? I've probably missed that if that's in the news right now. And what's it called? Or is it just more like the season? You're preparing for the season? Season, yeah, okay. Never experienced one myself, thankfully. Maybe one in England in the 80s, I think, I remember, but nothing like what you get here. All right, ES is still rejecting its initial balance low. Gents on chat, no worries. Sorry the stream was a bit slower today, guys. Sorry the stream was a bit slower. Still flushing down. You are in trend down, all right? This is in a sell until it proves otherwise. Right now, you're in a sell. We never got that pivot up here, all right? So we're in a sell right now. Coming down to the IB low potentially. If it starts failing these levels here, all right? These are daily. This is your lower time from algo. light blue line is an old anchored VWAP, white line is a daily level. Through that we can come IB low, higher time frame, 5-day. Sells are in control. No bull is in control right now. Now we've come through that demand box, no bull is in control. In fact, I'm just going to get rid of that altogether right now because we've just taken them out. Right, into the daily level, into the anchored VWAP. I can't predict the market. No one can predict the market. We do what the market shows us. Unfortunately, we hoped, we were looking for a trade, it didn't set up. I didn't get the counter trend short because it's not a pro trend, and that's okay. Market will do what it wants. Yeah, good, Frank. So you're holding your short for your TP. All right, just make sure you respect some of these levels in here. I don't know where you entered, but if you got some nice profits off, just think about each break of structure. But yeah, might want to come and attack that wick at 46. That would be amazing. Just seems to be like a, even though these moves look really big over 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 minutes, they're only really like 25 to 30 points. There's not a real like injection of volume and momentum here to the downside, you know. Value area low on this session is around 50. Old point of control from yesterday is at 45. If you wanted to test that old point of control from yesterday, it's at 45. That would rebalance the whole H1 candle and right down into the H1 flow zone. So it would reprice all the way down. This is what I was saying to you. If it can't hold this area, right, I'm not interested because bulls needed to see it hold up here for the extension up. If it needs to do a deeper dive, you have to be careful. This can happen all session down into here. And if it wants to be nasty, it can trade down into there. If it does that, I'm far, far less interested in bullish upside momentum if it needs to reprice anywhere near down here. Need to see it make higher lows. Higher high, I need to see it make a new higher low and higher high. $20,222.75. So you are in on that reflush. Yeah, so once it trapped and failed, you took that. Very nice. Soaking off where we pushed up from earlier today and off Asia high so far. If we start snapping this, I'd be very concerned about a trade back down to London low. If we hold this, it can still be a flag on higher time frames. Okay, it can still be a flag on higher time frames if it holds. Yes, exactly. 5-minute trend is still respecting that upside trend from the London low, still respecting so far. Futures, Frank, yeah, I mean, like I was saying, take partials into those areas. It's respecting the daily level. This white line is a daily level. This blue line is the anchored VWAP, right? So it's respecting into those levels. You can always take a partial, right? If you still think this is going lower, it's not taking out this pivot here, even on a 1 minute. So it would have to take out 208, 209 for a potential buy side move back up to come and steal some of this liquidity. So you were in from 22, I think you said, somewhere around here. So that gives you, it's a pretty good move there, my friend, 50 points. Nothing wrong with locking a little bit in. ES coming back to retest that initial balance again. Pretty big wicks on the 10-minute charts here. Is it going to reclaim? These are the big questions we have. Is it going to reclaim? it's a great trade, Frank. 50 points is good. Don't be scared about taking a partial out for 50 points. That's a solid trade. Yes, right at that IB low, right? Yes, right at the IB low. Just replying to some guys. Direct message me, bear with me. I'm probably going to call it a day right there, team. So we got 2 nice trades this morning before stream, unfortunately, which I got with my Discord. But nothing on stream. We were waiting for that long. It might still set up, okay? Be cautious. But right now you are in a sell. Look, you're in a sell. But if it wants to come and hunt these levels up here, right? All the short stops are up here. If for some reason it feels the need to pivot and come and take this out, you can watch it for that move. But so far, ES is rejecting the initial balance low, which is suggesting trend day down on the ES, okay? So you must respect that. You have major divergence across the markets right now today. Please, please, please be careful trading, all right? See profit, take profit. You are inside range. Look at your daily. You're now trading inside of yesterday's range, inside previous day high to previous day close. So just respect where you are. If you're on the short side, take your profits because the higher time frame narrative is actually still upside, all right? So you've had good sells today. Frank, you're up 50 points. Don't be worried about taking some of that off and holding the runners. As always, please use hard stops, right? Use hard stops. We're in a market environment where one headline can change everything very, very quickly. Use hard stops. I'll be back same time tomorrow. I think you've got a week left or under a week to do the Apex sale for 80% off 1 day pass. The link is down below. Use code FZT, and of course you can do my course right now, $100 off with the code YouTube, flowzonetrader.com. I'll see you all back tomorrow. Trade safe.